And well, a friend turned murderer here in Bengaluru. A youth was brutally murdered by his friend in Jayanagar. The deceased has been identified as 23-year-old Prashant. The accused Karthik absconded after the murder. Jayanagar police has launched a manhunt to nab Karthik. But we have seen so many such incidents take place in the past wherein some sort of small quarrel or argument between two friends turns deadly for one of them as they lose their temper and completely in the fit of rage do whatever it takes. And in a similar such incident, 23-year-old Prashant has been killed by his friend Karthik. And soon after killing Prashant, Karthik has now gone missing. He has been absconding ever since. The cops have launched a manhunt for Karthik, and the hope is, of course, that they will nab him before he manages to leave the state. But a tragic incident this, and rather unfortunate that in yet another case, a friend has turned into a murderer. And considering that these two were youngsters, it once again highlights that they seem to be taking to the violent path more often than not. Well, the cops have immediately been rushed to the spot and they have launched a manhunt to find Karthik as of now. This incident took place in Jayanagar late last night. And well, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is in Tamil Nadu campaigning for the Congress. He is holding roadshows in Krishnagiri, Hosur and Denkanekotte, where he is looking to woo Kannada voters. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has in fact reached Tamil Nadu now, and you can see that his roadshow has been a huge hit. Several people have turned up there and of course this is an effort by the Congress to reach out to the Kannadigas present along the border. Remember, this particular roadshow has been organized along the border of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka near Hosur, Denkanekotte, Krishnagiri, Sulagiri and these areas where there are a lot of Kannada speaking population, and to go ahead and connect with them as well, Siddaramaiah campaigning for Congress candidates in Tamil Nadu. It was a grand roadshow that was organized, which hundreds took part. But of course, keeping in mind that polling day in Karnataka has come to an end, the Chief Minister ending his rallies here in the state has decided to go ahead and help out the Congress in other states as well. He has now made his way to Tamil Nadu to go ahead and extend support to the state Congress there, and of course also reach out to all the Kannada voters, which do of course amount to a sizable population in that area. These are the areas bordering near Bangalore and Kolar districts, and Siddaramaiah has been summoned in, has been pulled in to campaign for the Congress candidates in these areas to reach out to all the Kannadigas present in these areas. The Congress making a conscious effort to not just target the Tamilians but also others present in the state, keeping in mind that Tamil Nadu does enjoy a fair population of Kannadigas as well. And former Minister Revanna seems to have run into trouble for stopping media personnel from carrying out their duty. H.D. Revanna had stopped media persons from filming Devegowda inside the booth while he was voting. H.D. Revanna was seen closing all the windows and refusing to allow the media to go ahead and capture H.D. Devegowda voting. For some reason, he seemed to have been rather offended by the fact that the media tried to capture H.D. Devegowda going ahead and casting his vote. This was, of course, on polling day in the state. But now Congress worker A. Manju has filed a complaint against him with the Election Commission. For the same, of course, maybe Congress worker A. Manju has alleged that it seems like Revanna was trying to hide something. Keep in mind that the windows, the doors are not allowed to be closed when someone is voting, and the Election Commission is very, very clear about that rule, especially when it comes to political workers and anyone who is into politics. They are not allowed to vote behind closed doors. It has to be open, free voting, and that was not the case when H.D. Devegowda was voting. Revanna and his men were seen ushering out the camera persons and also going ahead and closing the windows and doors, from stopping them from going ahead and catching and shooting H.D. Devegowda, casting his vote. This has definitely led to a lot of questions on exactly why Revanna was being so secretive, and now the Election Commission will pursue this matter after a complaint was filed by Congress worker A. Manju. And moving on to the big news just coming in, Minister Anjaneya goes on a renovation spree in Vidhana Sauda. Anjaneya is expected to spend 18 lakh rupees on renovating his office yet again. Keep in mind, this is the same minister who had earlier demolished the wall for Vastu reasons on January 6th of this year in Vidhana Sauda. And now this time around, Anjaneya going ahead and allocating 18 lakh rupees to renovate his office in Vidhana Sauda. Once again, whether it is based on Vastu or some sort of preference, we'll have to wait and watch. But this definitely seems bizarre, to say in the least. A government building being put up for changes, being renovated to suit the likes of one minister. Remember, the Vidhana Sauda is a building that's been there for generations together, but it looks like Anjaneya doesn't seem to care, going ahead and now announcing that he will spend about 18 lakh rupees just to renovate his office. On Jan 19th, of course, Jan 6th, I beg your pardon, we had seen him already doing something very similar, where he had demolished a wall to ensure that his room faces in the right direction. My colleague Verghese joins us with more information. Verghese, once again, we're looking at Anjaneya going ahead and looking at it as a Vidhana Sauda is his own home, going about the demolition that he wants, the renovations that he wants.
Well, it is in fact interesting to note that in Jan 6th, he had brought down the wall in that particular office, the two offices that he's been occupying as the Social Welfare Minister, that is 340 and 341. There was in fact a wall separating both these offices, and they had broken that wall. And the reason given then was saying that it needs to be a spacious accommodation. Now he's going to put vitrified tiles, and we are hearing that it could cost him around 18 lakh rupees with other modifications also to be done to that office. So quite an important way of spending money, but for what reason, how it is going to benefit a lot of people, that is one question that people have been asking. In fact, there's a lot of interior work also that is being carried out within the premises, not only the vitrified tiles that is being put, but a lot of interior work also being carried out in the process. And in fact, there's so much money being spent on it that people are actually asking the question whether it was needful, in fact, to ensure that this latest renovations had to be carried out in this particular office. Also, there have been people saying that why is that there's been so much money being spent on this, and it should be rather spent on the department itself, which is in fact having a lot of cash crunch. In fact, way back in Jan 6th, the entire process of breaking that wall was made on a Sunday, so that it did not attract a lot of media attention. Also, Sita, we should understand that on that day he had gone against the media for in fact highlighting it. There's been speculation saying that the wall was brought down because of Vastu reasons, and now with this so much of money being spent on the interior work as well as the new tiles being put, there is questions being raised like why is there so much of money being spent on the beautification of the office alone? It could be spent much better in the social department itself, Harshita.
Right, Varghese, another question that everyone's asking at this point. We saw this on Jan 6th as well, when several people questioned how he could go ahead with the demolition, considering that this particular structure is ancient. It could affect the structure as such. And besides that, the Vidhana Saudha is not a private building for him to go ahead and conduct these renovations. Any word on whether he's got the necessary permission to do this?
Well, there have been several issues raised in that regard also. One, a lot of people are worried, like structurally, how this is going to affect them. How will structurally, in fact, weaken the walls, because the wall was there between the 340 and 340A buildings. There was a reason why it was structurally placed over there. Now, since that wall is missing, will it have an adverse effect on the load bearing of the other walls? These are some of the questions that have been raised. Also, yes, there is questions with regards to how this money is being spent. So, yeah, there are people who are raising questions against this renovation, but it seems that it has undeterred the minister, and he's going ahead with it. I think it's a necessity, and that people deserve better offices. So he's been interestingly using the term of people rather than himself going for the renovation. Saying the people coming here deserve better facility. That is why he's going ahead with the renovation. Akshita.
Right, Varghese, thank you so much for joining us with all that information. But absolutely bizarre to say in the least. This is a government office. It is owned by the government, and yet one minister seems to be making all the changes he wants to. On Jan 6th, he had quoted controversy by going ahead and demolishing a wall that separated rooms 340 and 340A. Now, it was being said that it was for Vastu purposes, while Anjaneya maintained that it was so that he would have a spacious office, and they had done this on a Sunday to ensure that the media could be kept away, and also because it was a holiday at the weekend. Of course, did not see too many people turning up at the Vidhana Saudha. But once again, with him going ahead and renovating his office for a price of 18 lakh rupees, the question everyone's asking is, where is he getting this money from? Is it from public funding or his own pocket? And also, considering that this is a government building, is he allowed to carry out this kind of a construction renovation?